Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe back, and I'm going to do my weekly update for March 21st, 2021. So, this week, I had a really weird reading week, as in, there were days where I did not read much of anything, and I think it's just because work was a little busy. It was a little stressful this week. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary, just things kind of happened. And then I got home and I would just not want to read all that much. And it might be because I restarted playing Animal Crossing. I took a 5-month break from playing the game, and I played it a lot at the first part of lockdown when we first got it on my Switch, and I just kind of didn't, I haven't played since October. And then I last week decided to restart in my island. I started it all over again. So it's kind of like from the beginning a year later. So it's kind of been fun to revisit that. So I'm spending more time playing a video game, I guess. But mostly I didn't have the focus, at least on Thursday and Friday. Like, I read almost nothing. I mean, the only pages I really got those days were in my audiobook, in my car on the to and from work. So it was a little weird reading. Yesterday, though, I did buckle down and catch up on my reading, but it was just a weird week. So I don't know what that was all about, or if that's what it's going to be like going forward. I hope not. I guess sometimes it wasn't a slump or anything. It really just was. I looked around and go, I don't want to read. And so I didn't. So it just felt like such a waste to me when that happens, but it happens. I mean, there are days like that. So anyway, I'm going to go through the books that I read this week, the ones that I'm in the middle of, and then what I think I'm going to read in the next week. So on Monday, I released a video about my library book haul that I had quite a few that came in all at once. Of course, that's how it is. I don't get anything for a while, and then look, everything came in. And there are actually a couple books waiting for me at the library today, so I'll probably go pick up a few more. But they're not ones I'm planning to read full. They're more research, like just to look at. Kind of. Anyway, we'll see. But I did, of the ones I think I had 7. I did read 4 of them. So I found this reading week really weird as well, is because I was reading all these other books, and then I just inserted all these library books too. So maybe that's what threw my reading off. I don't know. Again, I have a lot of trouble with this reading certain books like every day, like just a certain quantity, and then changing books. And sometimes it works and sometimes not. So this week was kind of like, it worked because I finished a lot of little things or fast things. But I also didn't finish the books I had already started from, that I had been reading, and ones I started last week. So I don't know. Anyway, so we'll go through my 4 library books that I get to take back today, of the ones that I got to. So the first one I read is my first entry into Middle Grade March. I read Light Fall, The Girl and the Goldoran by Tim Probert. So this was a cute graphic novel. Fantasy one about a girl and this creature called, I don't remember what his name is called. Like, again, I read this, is it Cad? Yeah, B is the girl and Cad is the other animal. And he's looking for his other people like him, because he looks a little lost, but he's adventurous. And B is looking for her adopted grandfather who has gone missing. And it's a really cute little fantasy thing. I know it's only the first book in a series. I think it's the only book out though, so I might read the next one. It was just cute. And as I said, I picked it up on a whim because I saw some people from all the videos on Middle Grade March, and I looked up my library and they had it. So this one I knew was coming in pretty quickly because it was the only one that was like on the shelf. But I thought it was really cute. As I said, it's it's like a cute, I mean, again, it's really pretty, some of the pictures and stuff. I mean, it was really cool. But it was a quick read, so I read that fairly early in the week, and that didn't take long. So at least I read one book for Middle Grade March, right? I then spent several days reading this after I would read my pages in my other book. And Solutions and Other Problems by Allie Broche. This is her second book that is memoir graphic novel. So there's a lot of text, but there's a lot of pictures. And again, Hyperbole and Half I read in November. I meant to read that for years. I just never got around to it until November because I was reminded when this was coming out. I think right around that time or in December. I can't remember. It was right around there. So I got on the hold list, and after I finished that book, and I was way down the list, and there was only so many copies at the time. So there's more copies have been bought since then. So that's why I finally got it in March. Anyway, so this was really good. It was really hard. Like, it was really sad in one point talking about why she kind of went missing on, you know, because again, she wrote the other book, I think it was 2013, I think it released. And then, you know, she kind of disappeared for a while, but there was reason for that. But it was like, it was her telling us, you know, all the things. Again, she has her funny childhood stories that she remembers the things she did, or when she was, you know, when she meets other people. Oh, it was just funny. I mean, she's got a funny way of looking at things and a different perspective. Like, I would never think the way she did on certain things. It's really interesting. She does really well showing that not everybody thinks the same way. And but it also deals a lot with her depression and how she felt and how she works through things, or, you know, how, I mean, clearly this helps, or, you know, even though it, you know, it's taken her years to get another book out. But I think it was such a really good book. I did really enjoy this, overall. As I said, I didn't read a whole lot of it every night. I read like a good section and then I would put it down. But, I did enjoy this, and I'm glad I got to it. And I think especially if you like the first one, you're going to like this one. I just don't think it is maybe as funny, because I think there's more sad points in this one than in that one. But again, it's like a graphic memoir, you know, so with a lot of text. But I don't know. It's her own style. I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad I read that, and it finally came in. And then when did I read this? I read this, I think when I wasn't reading a whole bunch. I finally picked up the manga that I always wait for at the library forever, because I only get like 1 or 2 copies, and there's like a lot of us who want to read this. And this is The Girl from the Other Side, and this is volume 9 by Nagambi. And so this is translated from the Japanese by Adrienne Beck. I really enjoy this series. It's really strange. Again, it's a fantasy series about a young girl who is out in the world by herself. We're not quite sure why, and this kind of weird creature is taking care of her, and he has his own past, but she's considered outside because of a plague that has taken out a lot of the land, and the people who live in the castle or in the town that has the, you know, that is what do I say? Fenced off? Well, not fenced off. Like, it's castle walls. You know, they're the inside. So it's the outsiders who are these creatures, and there's some kind of plague, and it's a weird, twisted little story. And again, it's a really dark manga, as in there's a lot of black and white. You know, as I said, or a lot of dark spaces. And again, it's dealing with who is right and who is wrong, and really, this girl, you're trying to see what. You know, as I said, it's her story, and teacher who is the creature that is taking care of her. And again, this is book 9, so I'm not going to say what happens in this one, except the freaking end. I'm like, I need the next book. So 10 comes out in April, but my library still doesn't have it listed as an option, so they haven't pre-ordered it. So I might go online today and, you know, do a request for purchase, because I want to make sure they get number 10. Anyway, so this is a really good series. And again, I haven't bought these, which is unusual for me with manga when I like a series a lot. I like it a lot, but I just don't know if I'm ever going to reread the whole series again. So I'm going to wait till we get, I mean, again, I think there's still I think there's at least 11 out in Japan. So we'll see. Anyway, but I really enjoyed that one. So I got that finally. I mean, that was months that's been on my, I've been waiting for that copy. So again, now as soon as the next one gets on the library website, I will be probably waiting months to get the next one. But as I said, I really enjoy those. And then the last one of my library books the last book that I finished this week was Address Unknown by Cressman Taylor. So this was published in 1938, kind of like as a special, it's a novella. I mean, it's really short. It's like it's a group of letters. Again, this is fiction. It's a fictionalized letters of two men who are business partners in San Francisco in the early 30s, 1930s. And yeah, 1932, one of the partners, who is German, goes back to Germany to live there. They've decided to move back. So his business partner, who is an American and who is Jewish, stays with the company, or stays with their gallery in San Francisco. So this is so short. I'm not going to give a whole lot away, except this is such. And if you think about when it was published, which was 1938, it caused such a sensation because it shows the mentality of people and how things will change when things are going on in different areas of the world. So again, we have their friendship at the beginning and their business. They have history together of things that happened between them. And one little point that I was so surprised about that does come back, but it was like, wow, that was kind of in depth for this short little story. This thing that would have repercussions later. Again, it was really well done. I can see why this was so popular and sold a lot of copies, because it shows the character Martin, who goes back to Germany with his family, and his change from what he was like in America to being caught up in the nationalism in Germany in that time, and falling under that spell, and then how he reacts to his friend. And it was, and the things that happen in here, this is so impactful for such a short little book. So I totally recommend this if you can get it. I wish I could remember who I saw. Okay, so Maria at MH Books and I have both said we saw this on a video. We don't remember who was talking about this. So if you remember, let me know. I want to go back to whoever's video that was and tell them I really enjoyed that I got this book from them. I cannot remember, and I know it was just in the last couple of weeks because I asked for this from the library right away and I got it pretty quickly. So if you remember, let me know. I cannot recall, and it really bugs me because this was such a good read. I'm glad I read it, and I'm glad it was brought to my attention. And I thought it was really a really good, for such a small book. It packs such a punch, and I think it's definitely worth reading. And again, it's just short little, it didn't take me very long. They're like just short little letters, and but just so much in those letters and how it twists in the end. Wow, I was just stunned. Anyway, I totally recommend this anyway. So, okay, so those are the library books I did finish. So I still have a few, and again, I'm picking up a couple more today. So yeah. So let's talk about the books I was already in the middle of. So I am still listening to Too Like the Lightning by Ada Palmer in my car on the way to and from work, or whenever I'm in the car. I read this book back when it came out and loved it. I'm so enjoying my reread. So I wasn't able really to talk about it last week because I just started it again, and again, it's so complicated, but I love this. So this is in the 25th century, and the world has changed in the way that there's not really nations anymore. There are hives, and there are 7 major hives that everybody belongs to one of them, and they get to choose at a certain age if they want to be in which hive. And they're all different kinds. There's things that they focus on differently, like the humanists are more human arts and things like that, and the Mitsubishi is more of corporate and buying power of land and things like that. And then the utopians are for the future, and that's all they really think about. And there's 7 of them, so they're all very different. I mean, I'm just saying a few of them. It's very fascinating as you dive into this. And so we're following, or we're being told by Mycroft Canner, who is a convict, and he's telling us the story. So he is one of my favorite narrators of a novel ever. There's just something about Mycroft. And again, I've read the first 3 books in this series. The 4th book is coming out in September, I think. So I'm rereading these all in anticipation, since it's been about 2 or 3 years since I finished the 3rd book. Because again, the first book came out in 2016, and then the next one was 17, and I think the next one was 18. So I think that I read them all from the library first, and then got my own physical copies later. So it's been a few years, and there's so many things in here I already, like, I forgot that. Oh, I forgot that. Because Mycroft may be a convict, and he is in a position where he has to he's called a servitor, and he has to do things for other people, and then they have to remember to feed him, which is kind of funny. Anyway, but he is kind of a special case, and he is actually knows all the higher leaders of all the hives. Like, he is like, and they all know him because of certain things. But it's so interesting how all the leaders know each other and their interactions, and then how he interacts with them, or what they get from him. And then there's also a story about a child that he found called Bridger, and Bridger can make things come to life. So there's this like fantastical element. There's this utopian kind of civilization, like world has gone a certain way, except you just know this is going to go dystopia pretty soon. And again, the progression in the novels have been really great. And again, coming back to this after so many years, I'm just so enjoying this audiobook, which is unfortunate in one way, because Jefferson May does the audiobook To Like the Lightning, but then they switch audio narrators to somebody else, and I disliked it so much. Like, I just wanted to listen to the sample on Audible, because I thought, I can't get it from my library, because this one I got from the library. And I thought, okay, well, maybe I'll get the other ones, and then I can just do the audiobooks of all these, because they're all rereads. So I thought, oh, okay. Oh no, like, his voice is just not, like, after listening to this one, I'm like, I can't switch, like, because Mycroft is Mycroft to me, and he has just, like, become Mycroft Canner to me. Anyway, I'm not explaining this all that well, but this, if you like, again, this is one of those weird science fiction novels that, if you like the weird stuff, and this goes really political, very heavy, in a weird religious way, there's like weird stuff about it, and she twists a lot of like stuff academically and math, and there's like a lot of different areas. I don't know, it's so hard to explain, and I just enjoy this. So I would almost say that if you like interesting weird plots going into it, like Nine Fox Gambit, you would like this. But this is different. It's hard to explain. It's just so different. And I know, and I remember things that are going to happen, so it goes into really strange ways. But I'm really looking forward to my reread of this series to get ready for the new book. But this audiobook is really good. I just wish they kept the same narrator. I'm not going to be able to do the audiobooks for the next two. Seven Surrenders and The Will to Battle. I'll just have to reread them physically, which is fine. I will do that, but this audiobook's been really, really good. Anyway, so, sorry. I'm really, really enjoying that reread. I'm like excited to get into my car and listen to that. It's just, I don't listen to it other times. I'm not a big audiobook person outside of my car, but, oh, sorry, the cat just jumped on the stool where the camera was. Anyway, and then they go chasing off. Anyway, so the book I focused on the most this week, other than my library books, was The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. So again, I'm reading this all month with a group of people over on Voxer. Really enjoying it. I am way ahead of everybody else, but again, I was the one who said I was going to read it within a month. And I'm on track. Yesterday, I had to knuckle down and read farther. Because I didn't read Thursday or Friday at all. And none of this. I think I read the manga and that little Address Unknown. I think I read those on Friday. So, and Thursday, I don't think I read like anything. So I think, so yesterday I had to read 120 pages to catch up, because again, I'm reading 40 pages a day. And I did. I read 155. So I actually am almost done with today's pages already, because I just hit the next section. So we were checking in every 15 chapters. I just finished chapter 75. So it's just so incredible. Anyway, so I'm way ahead of everybody else, but you know, that's just, again, they are all reading it at their own pace, which is great. I want to get this done this month. That's my goal, because I'm finding again, I did it so bad when I was reading Barchester Towers and this as every day. It was just too much for me. So, and I know next month I'm going to be starting Dr. Thorne and doing the same thing where I'm going to read a chapter a day. And I don't want to have something where I can only read so much of this as well, like multiple books like that. I like reading maybe one book that I only have to read a chapter or something, and then I can read the rest of the night the other book I can get involved in. I'm just having trouble again with the multitasking with books. It's not that I don't, again, keep them track. It's just really, I just want to dive in and get farther. I'm very much for finishing, because right now, not doing so good on the ones I've started. I mean, I did all the library books instead. Anyway, wow. So there was a section that I read, yeah, midweek, which might be why I didn't read this for a couple days, because I didn't really like that that section. I was like, it was okay, but it was actually the most boring the book had been, but it wasn't bad. It was just, because this book is so fast-paced and so much plot and so much little details that it's just so fascinating. But this one section was just, it's not as much happened, or not as many shocks to me, I guess. This last section, though, again, upped the ante on, like, everything. So I really enjoyed the last 15 chapters. And again, it ended again on a really good note. A good place to make my, I'll make my Voxer message later this morning. Really, really enjoying this, as I said. So I am 823 pages. No, 32. 832 pages in. So yes, I still have 400 pages left. So I have 10 days, and so again, that's my 40 pages a day. Is that right? Anyway, I have to do 40 pages a day to be on track. So as I said, as I said, today I just need to finish my 8 pages to get up to 840. And then if I read an extra day, then I have an extra day. But I'm probably not going to read too much of this because I read so much of it yesterday. So, but I will read enough to get to my my daily count, and then we'll see. I might get a day ahead just because I know how I skip a day sometime during the week, and then I have to catch up. So, again, this week was just harder because I did a lot yesterday and read almost the whole section. So. But really enjoying this, and I'm so glad I'm finally reading it. So the other book that I'm physically, I set this down. I did start this last week, or earlier in the week, and that's Gods of Jade and Shadow by Silvia Morena Garcia. So, and I meant to read this early in the week, and then all those library books just got in my way, and I just set this down. So I'm only 95 pages in, so I'm a little under, I'm not quite a third of the way through yet. But I'm hoping today that I'm going to focus on this after I get my pages for the count done. This is a book about in the 1930s in Mexico, and a young woman named Cassiopeia opens a chest that has the bones of a god of death. And so then she has to travel with him to try to find other parts of him that are missing so that he can battle his brother his twin brother who has taken over I don't remember what they call it, the underground or whatever. They the other world. Oh, I can't think what it's called. Anyway, with the gods from that area. So anyway, it's like, as I said, it's fantastical, but it's set in 1930s Mexico, so it's very interesting that way. I'm in the Yucatan Peninsula area, so it's really interesting that way. I'm really enjoying this. I did pick this up for Invisible Cities. I think it counts. It's definitely all in that area. It's just interesting, and we're getting some history stuff, and some, where the area is where they're at. I don't know. I'm enjoying it so far. I don't know why I put it, I just made it not a focus when I was not reading very much, and I think the library books just kind of knocked me out, and then just, work and things. So anyway, my goal is to try to get this done in the next couple days. If I don't get it done today, hopefully tomorrow, to move on. But I so far am enjoying this. As I said, I'm far enough in now I like the style. It reads pretty good. It reads pretty fast. It's just, I need to focus. And I haven't focused. And then just to mention, because I might restart reading this. Where is it? this week I just took a break from reading A Memory Called Empire by Arcady Martin. So this is my ebook that I was reading at work during my lunches. This week I was trying to read The Gods of Jade of Shadow, and again I have problems with a physical book because it's hard to keep them open and eat, and I only have a half hour, so there's not a whole lot of time, and also I get interrupted a lot, so I lose my play. Anyway, so this, I might try to restart reading this week. The problem is that, again, this is a science fiction, and Too Like the Lightning is pretty science fiction to me, so I don't know if I'm just reacting because I don't want to read both of them at the same time. I really don't think that's the problem. I think it really is that I was trying to get through. I thought I could fly through Gods of Jade and Shadow this week and finish it, and clearly because my reading was kind of weird, I did not. So I had sacrificed my lunch breaks to try to read that, and I only got a few pages here and there when I should have just focused on this. So I'm about a third of the way through this book as well. This follows I don't know how, Mahit, I don't know how she says her name. Anyway, the point is she's an ambassador coming from a small station that does not want to be annexed by the Empire, and she goes to the Empire as the new ambassador when they get a message saying that a new ambassador must come. So she gets there and finds out that the last one has been killed. They say by, you know, an allergic reaction, but she is right away suspicious, and she goes with a technology called an imago that obviously there's problems with that, and also just her politically becoming the ambassador and the things that she learns by not having this technology that's supposed to help her has kind of had a issue. So it's like, I don't know, so it's like, so it's she's an ambassador in a place where she really has always wanted to go there, has studied and has been ready for this all her life, but she's also given a handicap of not knowing everything she's supposed to, because she was only given a few months from the time that they found out to get her there. It was only like 3 months, and it was like not enough time for what she should have been ready for or prepared. And again, there's a whole lot of stuff, political intrigue stuff going on. Again, I'm only 180 pages into it, I think, and so the second book just came out, A Desolation Called Peace. So I do want to read that. I'm pretty sure. I mean, again, I have under 300 pages left to read of this, but I figure by the time I get to the end, I will probably either get that book or get it from the library or something. So I'm really enjoying it. I just took a break from it this week, which I shouldn't have done, but this week I'm probably going to go back to reading this as an ebook, or reading it during my lunches, because I get more done than I do when I take a physical book. I don't know. Do other people have problems with that? I have problems with holding the book open. Anyway, and then again, I get interrupted all the way through lunch. So, mostly those books are the ones I'm going to be focusing on, reading, as well as, they're all, I'm kind of all in the middle of those. The book that I think that I'll finish, or I'll start once I finish Gods of Jade and Shadow, is one of my library books, The Best Thing You Can Steal by Simon R. Green. Again, this is his first book in the Gideon Sable novel. So again, it's urban fantasy. It looks like London, and he's a con man and a thief, and he's out to steal weird things from people. So, like very unrealistic supernatural things. So he and his team are getting together to try to steal something, and I'm sure it all goes wrong. Anyway, so this is his first book in this. Again, Simon R. Green is one of my favorite authors, especially on his shorter novels. Again, I read a lot of his stuff. I don't love everything, so again, I'm going to try the first book and find out. I'm excited that he has a second first book to a new series coming out later in the year called it's Jekyll and Hyde Inc. I think, and it has something to do with Jekyll and Hyde, but again, it's a supernatural change. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to that too. But anyway, I always get them from the library first because they're so freaking expensive. I mean, this hardback is like $28 for this little one. I wait till paperback. Anyway, but anyway, so this is probably the only book I know for sure I'd like to get done this week because it's due next weekend. So I do want to get that done. This is one of the library books I had earlier, so I need to get through that. So other than that, that is it. Oh, I talked again a lot, but I had a lot to go through. So anyway, what are you guys reading? Are you guys doing anything? Again, I was reading, you know, Gods of Jade and Shadow for Invisible Cities, The Count of Monte Cristo for Marching Mammoths or March of the Mammoths. I'm reading that. I don't have a mystery on the go at this point, so oh well, you know. Yes, Cooper. Anyway, so I think that's it. So how are you guys doing? What's going on? Let me know. Especially if you've read some of these books. And have you guys read Too Like the Lightning? I really enjoy that series. I'm so excited for it to have the final book finally coming out. So I'm looking forward to that reread and stuff and everything. And are your library holds coming under control? Mine are not. They're all still coming in. I definitely need to go back to only having 5 on my hold list, but I still have 10. So I'm going to whittle it down. I just can't add anymore. So anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.